Welcome to another episode of Business in West Africa. I'm your host Jim Bauman, and I'm, as always, accompanied by my co-host David Kpondehou,
Yes.
founder and CEO of Africa Samurai Consulting.
Mm.
In today's episode, in the previous two episodes, we focused on how to set up a partnership and how to enter the country. In this case, Benin as an example. In today's episode, we will focus on having set up a company. How do we go out to find the right people to start with in your company? So for that, I turn once again to David.
Yes.
David, you've set up a company in Benin.
Mm.
Whether you're African or foreigner, doesn't matter in this case. How do you find those first few people to join your company?
First few people. Thank you very much for this relevant question to our previous topics. Relevant people always, for me, mean trustful people.
Mm-hmm.
So, for my case, the key person I'm working with today is you've been a friend with whom we have been sharing same vision, and she's a really good entrepreneur, and I think we all know what we want and where we're going. So it was easy for me to convince him to set up the company, and we're working together today, and I never regret working with them because with him, I would say, and I have some other friend supporting us, but the key person I'm working with is someone I really, really trust, and we're working together. So that's my case. But in general, if you want to hire or you want to have a key person to work with in Benin, as I said, it's good to have a partner from who understand both culture, like your culture and the home country, like the target country culture. So it means if you have a Benin person who already have chance to do something with Japan, it's easy for you as a Japanese company to cooperate with that person. If not, you can also go through that person who knows about both country to find the right person for you to hire, because he knows your culture and he knows what type of people you're looking for, and he knows who can easily cooperate with you to make your business successful. So this middle person is key. It's very important. So I think you can go through someone who already understands both culture and find another person to help you for your business. It could be.
So similar to how you found the right way to enter the country as a partnership or so,
Yes.
the same applies here for how to find the right person.
The right person.
So
But
you already know I'm from the Netherlands, and in the Netherlands we use a lot of online tools like LinkedIn or so. And in Japan we've experienced here that there's a lot of recruiting agencies that
Yes.
people approach,
Yes.
and they're doing the work for you. Are any of those options available in Benin or in West Africa?
Sure. I think because you mentioned about key person to start the business with this, the key employee to manage your business. That's why I'm going through the process of trust from a friend, or from a friend to a friend, or maybe from a person you know to another person. It's easy, But if you want to do general recruitment, for sure, like in other countries, we have a recruiting agency, and we have some online platform, Facebook, or with some a SNS group or website where people can request for employment. Like if they really want to employ some specific skill, then they can give the profile they're seeking to those agencies, or they can publish those specific needs online, and definitively people will contact them within 24 hours.
Okay. Let's go into a bit more specific roles.
Yes.
Let's say you're looking for somebody who works in the IT. Could be a programmer, could be a designer. How would you go about finding a person like that in Benin?
That's very good. For such kind of person, our company is doing that maybe For example, we have created IT like a graduate student community.
Mm-hmm.
So people when they get out from the university, when they finish the university, I want to say, there you have their community. We have a web designer community. We have a web developer community. So we know how to target those specific community if you want a specific skill. So if you would like to get those kind of skills, it's good to get in touch with those community, which is easy to find online, or it's also easy to contact university, because there are some university which train only IT students. So it when you contact the university, they already know like what are the student you know who already finished, when we can satisfy your needs. So you can whether contact the university, you can post online, or you can contact those student community. So I think and you can also contact the recruiting agency. They can also help out to find the right person.
Okay. And let's say we look at a different role. You're
Yeah.
looking for somebody who's an accountant or a finance person.
Yes.
How would you find out? Would it be the same methods, or is there like a particular preferred method to find somebody like that?
I think it is the same.
Okay.
It is the same, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And let's say you work in a totally different industry. It's not an office job, but it's in manual labor, farming or manufacturing. How do you try to find people with that kind of skill set in Benin?
Farming, manufacturing, those kind of skills, I think it depends on where you are in Benin.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are in the big city, I think you have those always those association of young people in different area. You have, for example, farmer association. You have maybe like some type of job association. You have different association in the city. So if you would like to get those kind of specific skills or specific people, you just need to click like contact the right people. And we also have this what's gonna say, those kind of work like uh, it's a blue collar work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of work we have mostly this how this agency taking care of those manual work. So if you contact those agencies, also you can find the right people to work with you.
Okay. So the general advice for finding people would be to go to try and join those associations or unions, as they usually have the network to find the people you're looking for.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you can also approach the university. They can either introduce you to the association, or they have the graduates that they can introduce.
And online also.
And finally, online and the recruiting agencies that
Yes.
can help as well.
Sure.
When you mentioned online before, you mentioned it again just now. You said Facebook. So when we talk about online recruiting, it generally happens via Facebook, or there are particular job boards or platforms in Benin that people use?
There is a Facebook, and we also have some websites for recruitment agency. They have their platform where people can register, like have their CV already registered beforehand, and when there is a job opportunity, they share with them. Then those recruiting company are kind of coaching company for employment. So, and then mostly people use, for example, WhatsApp group. For example, in our countries, and you will have a lot of message, like just short message, say, oh, we're looking for this type of person to do this type of work, and it will start from this day, and please contact this person. So then people will spread out they share it in different WhatsApp group, and those kind of channels is also very efficient to get the right people. But it's always good to approach recruiting agency. Um, that could be the most legal and the most official way to get people.
Okay.
Mm.
We will make sure for all listeners and viewers that in the show notes and description below, we will post some links to agencies that are respectable, as well as the job platforms or boards that we found, so that you can search and yourself down there.
Yeah.
Finally, I would like to take a look at it from the other perspective,
Yes.
because you've also graduated from university in Benin and worked there for a bit. So when you were about to graduate, how did you find your first job?
Finding my first job is first after the university. I have to look for internship.
Mm-hmm.
So then, when I finished the internship, then I got chance to be.
So you stayed with the same company?
Not really, because while dealing with the internship, I have chance to ask for another internship in another company.
Mm-hmm.
So then the second company where I had the internship, they could take me work there for a while.
And finding that first internship was based on a connection you had built up with somebody, and they told you there's a position available, or you found it via your university, or there was like a job fair. How did you manage to get into the first internship?
Oh, there is that government agency for employment,
Mm-hmm.
and they support young people looking for such kind of internship or employment, and then they also support young people who are willing to develop their own businesses, to have experience with private company, and after get funding to develop their business. So I think this agency exists and is one of the agency helping people to find job, and it's owned by government. So I think that how I find my first internship and second one. Yeah.
Okay. Do you, as a student, do you receive any support from the university in terms of finding an internship or a job?
Not really, because the university will just provide you letter of recommendation. So they give you the reference letter to be accepted by the companies, but they're not really going to look for the company for you.
Do universities generally host like a big job fair where companies come to try and showcase their company to prospective students, or?
We have such kind of job fair for internship, but the company come to promote their product, their services to students, but they are not doing it to hire as much as student like possible, because for example, we can have this kind of job fair for maybe 10 company against maybe 1,000 students.
I see.
So it's just not realistic to have those 1,000 students. So it's just showing the student about what this company is doing, what type of business they're doing, and make the student understand and realistically, like in reality, how the company operates, and understand more about the company businesses. And if they want to start their own business, is okay, but I'm not sure this company will be able to, hire or to accept 2 or 3, more than 5 interns. So I think we have this kind of situation there, but it doesn't mean that we're not doing it, but it's something we're doing, but it's not that much like the way we've seen it in Japan here, where university and companies and recruiting company organizing job fair to make students get job easily. It's not like that. It's not the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at that time, do students already give their resumes or CVs to the companies? And do the companies already conduct interviews with the students, or it is simply the company presents about themselves and the students just sit there and listen?
Yes, company present their product, present the industry in operation, how it deal with the management. They show in details that what is going on in the company, but not in the aim, like not willing to hire, not that, because they already have their employees. They just want to show to the student what the product is about.
And then the final section for today's video and
Yes.
podcast is about the recruitment process.
Yes.
So let's say as a company, as a student or person wanting to join the company, you found the company, you applied to it, you send them your resume, I guess, motivation letter. What happens from that point? There is an interview taking place, I guess.
Sure.
And is it usually that there's only one round of interviews, or there are multiple rounds of interviews?
You might get 2 rounds of interview, 2 or 3. It's multiple, because the candidate mostly the company have a lot of candidates, so they need to select who is the best candidate for them.
Okay.
So yeah.
And do companies in Benin also make use of things like personality tests or IQ tests or other kinds of tests to get a feel for what the person is like?
Yes, they do.
Okay. What are the more common kind of tests that they do?
I think one time I get the experience of having personality test, but it's just asking you a few questions to know about your personality. How could you react in front of this kind of situation? How patient you are, like a kind of case study. They show you explain you some cases and try to see your reaction and how you react. So I think those kind of tests is something people are doing there sometimes.
Okay.
Not always, but yeah.
As always, David, I want to thank you again for a nice video.
Yeah.
Just to sum it up and wrap it up, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
In today's video, we talked about how to find your first few employees, whether they're students or more experienced people. David mentioned there are different ways to find them. What I take away from it is that people are still dispersed in many different communities or associations. So the quickest way to find the right person is to either work with a recruitment agency or to find somebody else who's connected to many other associations who then spread the word for you. Did I understand that correctly?
I think you can target main association of communities. As I said, there are some key community for different group, like for example for IT, for accounting. So those 2 previous students from some university, they create the alumni community, and when someone have the job opportunity, share with the other members. Oh, I heard about this job opportunity, and then they share the information to each other.
And what David mentioned earlier as well was that there are many communities and associations on places like WhatsApp or Facebook where the words get spread around as well. For me, as a Dutch person, Western person, I view it as a great opportunity for things like LinkedIn or other social networks to take off, because there's still this extra layer between the company and the eventual employee, which are the middlemen. But that's something that everybody can pick up and try to go for.
Sure.
So I would like to thank you, David.
Yes.
In tomorrow's episode, we will talk about you found the person you want to hire, you've hired him. How do you manage that person? What is work culture like? What are contracts like that you engage in with employee? Earlier, we talked about associations and recruitment agencies. Those will be mentioned down in the show notes and the description.
Yes.
If you have any questions for us or any feedback, please let us know. Our social handles are also down there in the description. Feel free to reach out to us. Thank you once again for listening, watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you.